Hotep, everyone. Peace. This is Bastmuttepta, and this is my first week video for the Pagan blog project 2012. It is not actually the first week of it. The first week was back in January, but I'm playing catch up, and I'm going to do 5 weeks worth of blog project videos in one day. Oh my god. I can do it. But anyway, so the first week is the letter A. And for the letter A, for the first week, I have chosen Akhu, or ancestors, to discuss. I haven't really prepared anything for any of these videos, really, so it's just going to be whatever decides to come out. I guess, it's the premise of a blog, just sharing your thoughts and whatnot. So this is me unfiltered. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but either way, keep in mind, these are just my thoughts, my opinions. I did the whole disclaimer in the intro to my channel before. But yes, my thoughts, my opinions do not reflect the views or opinions of anyone else but myself. So, the Akhu, or the ancestors, are a very, very important part of my personal spirituality, which is Kemetic Orthodoxy. We call them Akhu, which means the blessed dead, and they're very important to us because of, first off, they're our relatives that have passed on. We also have a belief that, when a person dies, you have different parts of the soul. You have the Ba, which is the eternal soul, and you have the Ka, which is kind of like who you are right now, like your personality, who you are in this life. Some of us believe in reincarnation, some of us don't. But the general idea is that when you die, and your Ka is judged, and, you're allowed through, you pass judgment, you go on to become one of the Akhu, one of the blessed dead. And as living members of Kemetic Orthodoxy, it is our responsibility and privilege to venerate our ancestors. And I keep in mind I use the term venerate, not worship. Hemet, our leader, our head honcho, actually made a blog type post about this recently, about the differences between veneration and worship. And it's also something that I've touched on, if you remember my old channel, Obscure Visions, in a video that I did about Buddhism, because, ancestor veneration is actually a part of that particular spiritual path as well. And I did use the term veneration to explain the differences between veneration and worship. But I'll do that again for those of you that haven't seen those videos and whatnot. Worship implies that, you are lesser, that there's some greater being than yourself, that you are, kind of submitting yourself to, in a way, something just beyond you that you are, giving that worship to. Whereas veneration is a form of acknowledgement and respect. It's the same way that you would, show respect to and love to anyone in your life. Giving gifts to friends, going to friends for help, praising them on different things that they've accomplished. My cat's under my feet. But veneration is not worship in any way. When we venerate our ancestors, there's a couple different things that we do. Sometimes it can be just as simple as giving them attention, talking about them, remembering stories from when they were alive, leaving offerings for them, which, it's just like giving a gift. It's not like, oh, I'm leaving an offering for the gods. It's not the same thing. It's just like, if you cook a meal for a member of your family or something and invite them over, it's not like, oh, I worship you, I cooked you this Easy Mac, so, no, it's not it at all. So, offerings, doing things that they would have liked when they were living. And, sometimes that's difficult because, you have your crazed cat, no, you have your immediate relatives and everything who you may or may not be in contact with, um, and, have some knowledge of what their personality was like. And then you have, your ancestors from a long, long, long time ago that you've never met, that have been dead long before you were ever born, but they're still around you. They're still, influencing your life, and they're still there to help you. Um, a lot of the time, in religion, you have, at least in a lot of the pagan paths, you have this immediate feeling that, oh my gosh, I've got to go to God. If you have a problem, or there's something that you need, or you're struggling with something, you go to one of the gods immediately. It's like, well, I better do a ritual for this, or, I better, speak to so and so, or leave some offerings for so and so, or pray to so and so. And a lot of the time, it's about just general life stuff. And although the gods, definitely have a wide sphere of influence, sometimes they don't necessarily, need to be bugged with those kinds of things. Not that they're going to be like, why are you bothering me about this? Like, this isn't a big deal to me. No, they're not going to be like that. Of course, they'll probably try and help you, but why are we not going to, a someone who's been through it before, And that's not criticizing anyone else's practice. I'm just saying, like, in our particular belief system, we might be less likely to do that, to go immediately to a god. We would go to our ancestors. And the reason for this is that they've been through it before. They've been through life. They have had issues with relationships, money, jobs, family stuff, friends stuff, emotional stuff. They've been through that before. They know what it's like to be alive. They know the kind of crap we have to go through. So, they're definitely there for us to act as that kind of intermediary, and they definitely have influence. They can help you out. It's just, it's like maintaining a friendship, that friendship with someone who has passed on. So yes, ancestors are an incredibly important component to, our religion. When we die, we are then to become Akhu for those who will come after us. So, it's important to, to remember your ancestors, to honor them, to venerate them. Don't forget them. Never forget them, because, one day you're going to be in their shoes, and, it's like, I don't want to be forgotten. I want my family to remember me. So, that's just kind of our take on it. And definitely my personal take on it. My views may vary somewhat from what the whole of Kemetic Orthodoxy believes. But, ancestors are very important. And, learn about them, learn as much as you can, to use things like Ancestry.com, do some research, do some digging, ask your family, ask your older relatives about, your ancestors and where you come from and everything. And you'll definitely, start feeling a little more, fulfilled in that area. They're definitely a very important part of life, even though they are no longer a part of this life. And, they're just awesome. So, anyway, I'm going to cut that off here. I'm at approximately 9 minutes and 5 seconds, so that should be under the cut for 10 minutes, which I usually don't like going over 10 minutes. Anyway, so that was my first blog. It was basically just word soup, but whatever. Take it as you will, and week 2 is coming up right now. Snap tea.